Two buddies set a challenge. The one who can endure 100 days without possessions will earn $14 million. It's wonderful to finally meet you. This represents the future. At the start of the film, the lead character recounts tales of his great-grandfather. Together with his wife, they owned 57 items, yet during World War I, their faith in God was all that remained. The grandparents had accumulated 200 items, but lost it all when Hitler rose to power. Nonetheless, their faith in what was to come prevented despair. The parents had up to 650 items, yet they found no happiness. Nowadays, an average individual owns 10,000 items, enjoying freedom for the future. Yet among these, what is truly cherished? Paul, a skilled young developer, is roused by the lively voice of a girl. Regrettably, it's only a virtual assistant whose voice he crafted to fill the silence of his solitude. Just one story below, Tom, Paul's closest friend and business associate, starts his day. His mornings are filled with vigor, exercise, a refreshing shower, freshly brewed coffee, and meticulous grooming routines to preserve his youthful looks. When the well-groomed Tom arrives to collect Paul for a crucial interview, he finds Paul still lounging in bed, entertaining himself. With a bit of persuasion, Tom assists him in selecting from his extensive collection of suits and a pair of new sneakers, a collection that boasts nearly 100 pairs. Soon after, they hurry out the door. During the interview, they discover that they are among 1,000 other talented individuals, each convinced their creation is unique. Despite this, Tom and Paul succeed in impressing David Zuckerman, the leader of a significant firm. However, this achievement sparks a rift between them. It emerges that Tom had secretly used the voice assistant to investigate people's vulnerabilities, with Paul, the AI's creator, as the primary target. Later, the friends head to a nightclub to celebrate their triumph. But Paul is troubled by Tom's earlier comments on consumerism. Overwhelmed, and after indulging in too many potent drinks, Paul proposes a daring wager. Within 100 days, he and Tom must live without any of their possessions. The next morning, Paul wakes up devoid of all his belongings, his memory of the previous night's events hazy. Tom soon jogs his memory, recounting how Paul declared in front of everyone that the first to cave would forfeit half his belongings to their colleagues. Now, their only possessions are keys to a storage unit, from which they can retrieve only one item each day. For their initial picks, both choose essentials due to their colleagues' refusal to grant any leniency. Paul opts for a warm fur coat, while Tom selects a sleeping bag, a crucial choice to combat the biting cold. Indeed, the friends had to dash to the storage unit unclothed, causing quite a spectacle for the homeless and neighbors they passed along the way. Paul attempts to smuggle a few additional items, but Tom, adamant about not jeopardizing their shared assets, insists everything be returned to the storage. Unexpectedly, Paul's parents drop by for a visit and discover the nature of the bet. To Paul's astonishment, they endorse the challenge, viewing it as a powerful political statement against consumerism and a chance to reassess personal values. After a week, the situation has stabilized somewhat for the friends. They've managed to secure a few basic necessities from their storage unit. Tom continues to select items that enhance his comfort, but Paul's first choice is his smartphone equipped with a virtual assistant, Nana, seeking companionship during his free moments. During one of their visits to the storage unit, they encounter Lucy, an exceptionally beautiful woman who takes a keen interest in their unconventional challenge. Tom, quick to act, invites Lucy out on a date before Paul fully grasps the unfolding situation. Tom shows up for the date in glasses, his contact lenses a casualty of the bet, and, amusingly, without pants due to his limited clothing options, making his red eyes the least of his unusual appearance. The dinner itself is an odd affair. The lack of seasoning in the food isn't exactly what Lucy had anticipated. Despite these quirks, the pair manages to foster a romantic atmosphere and engage in a deep conversation. However, when Tom mentions he is a millionaire, Lucy can't help but laugh, given the stark contrast of his claim with the starkness of his current living situation, evidenced by his clearly unluxurious, empty apartment. As the evening grows more intimate, Tom and Lucy are on the verge of sharing their first kiss when Paul unexpectedly interrupts. Frustrated, Tom quickly shows Paul the door, ensuring his privacy and spending the night with Lucy. Meanwhile, Paul visits his elderly grandmother. During their conversation, she shares vivid stories of the war, recalling times when she had to flee with nothing but a single suitcase. Inspired by his grandmother's experiences and resilience, Paul gains a new perspective on their bet, realizing that true happiness isn't found in possessions. This revelation helps him adjust more comfortably to the challenges of their minimalist lifestyle. On the day of their crucial meeting with the founder of a large company, Tom takes a bold gamble. Instead of just selling the app Paul developed, he pitches the entire company for $14 million. Surprisingly, the offer is accepted. This decision, however, ignites a conflict between the friends, as Tom hadn't consulted Paul before making such a significant move. Tom, feeling justified in his actions, doesn't see the need to explain himself, certain of his correctness. Additionally, Tom's confidence extends to their ongoing bet. He believes that Paul will soon falter and revert to his previous consumer-driven lifestyle. This assumption adds another layer of tension, as Tom's actions not only affect their business partnership, but also challenge their personal trust and the dynamics of their friendship. The dispute between Paul and Tom escalates, prompting them to intensify the conditions of their ongoing bet. Aware that Tom has been receiving minor aids in terms of items, Paul insists on a new rule. From this point forward, any form of indulgence is strictly prohibited, and any infraction will result in an automatic loss of the bet. Furthermore, the stakes are dramatically raised when they agree to put their entire company on the line. This new, high-risk modification adds an intense level of seriousness and pressure to their challenge, directly tying the future of their business to their personal adherence to the stringent rules of the bet. When Paul discovers that his grandmother was admitted to the hospital and will be transferred to a nursing home after her release, he is deeply disturbed. Despite his distress, he stands firm in his commitment to the stringent rules of their bet. When his mother offers him money to buy cigarettes for his grandmother, a gesture that would comfort her, he refuses, adhering to the no indulgences rule of the bet. He knows that even though no one would likely find out, breaking the rules is not an option for him. His resolve not only demonstrates his dedication to the bet, but also earns significant respect from his mother, who is greatly pleased by his principled stand. While visiting his grandmother in the hospital, Paul encounters Lucy entering the therapist's office. Curious, he waits for her and learns that she has been battling an unusual addiction, not to alcohol or illegal substances, but to compulsively purchasing vast amounts of unnecessary items. This revelation gives Paul a deeper insight into Lucy's struggles, connecting them in their mutual quest for simplicity. That evening, in need of food, Paul goes to the dumpster to pick up a few apples for a late-night meal. Unexpectedly, he finds himself surrounded by several expensive cars. One is driven by Zuckerman, the founder of the large company interested in buying his app. In a surprising turn, Zuckerman proposes a deal that would eliminate the need to share profits with others, suggesting Paul join him directly. He even hands Paul a pre-purchased ticket as part of the offer. However, Paul senses there's a catch to Zuckerman's seemingly generous proposal, feeling the weight of potential strings attached to this sudden opportunity. Paul is further troubled by the intentions Zuckerman has for the virtual assistant Nana. The magnate envisions using the AI not just as a helpful tool, but as a means to manipulate consumer behavior. According to Zuckerman, Nana can be tailored to become a personal companion for users, adapting to individual personalities. This highly personalized AI would not only recommend, but actively encourage the purchase of unnecessary products, convincing users that these purchases are essential. This strategy relies on leveraging the trust and rapport that Nana builds with users, turning her into a powerful influence in their spending habits, much to Paul's ethical dismay. This realization deepens Paul's reservations about selling his app to Zuckerman, as it conflicts with his own values and the lessons he's learned from the bet about the value of minimalism and genuine needs. As tensions escalate between Paul and Tom due to their intense bet, another layer of conflict emerges when they discover Lucy's financial troubles. Tom accuses Paul of contributing to Lucy's debt, believing that Paul's interactions or influence somehow played a role. This accusation sparks yet another argument between the friends, a now common occurrence since the start of their bet. Amid the heated exchange, Paul recalls that he has Lucy's number saved on his phone. He considers the possibility of Tom using it to contact her, further fueling his suspicion that Tom is scheming to make him break the rules of their bet by using an extra item, like his phone, which would lead to his automatic loss. Exhausted by the constant bickering and distrust, Paul feels ready to surrender the bet and relinquish the escalating stress. However, just as he is about to give up, he arrives home to find his mother waiting on the steps. Her expression immediately conveys a grave message. Something tragic has occurred concerning his grandmother. This sudden, somber news momentarily shifts his focus away from the turmoil of the bet and back to his family, reminding him of what truly matters. Tom locates Lucy and accuses Paul of reporting her to the authorities. Lucy merely laughs in response, explaining that she had already contacted the authorities on her own accord because she was weary of evading and concealing her situation. Furthermore, it is revealed that she has been officially diagnosed with an illness, and a guardian has been appointed to assist her. Tom's primary purpose for visiting Lucy was to share the news of his victory in the bet, which now enabled him to effortlessly settle her debts and restore her possessions. When he returns home, Tom is greeted by all his belongings, which Paul had arranged to be moved back. However, Paul himself is nowhere to be found, and their colleagues are beginning to express concern about his disappearance. Determined to uncover his friend's whereabouts, Tom reaches out to Paul's parents. It is there he discovers the sad news about the elderly woman who was like a grandmother to him. She had passed away. He also learns that Paul has traveled to California in first class, indicating that someone else must have paid for his journey. When Tom arrives at his friend's apartment, he learns yet another detail from the neighbors. One of them is frustrated because Paul, who was handy with cars, isn't around to fix an ongoing oil leak. Meanwhile, Paul has taken refuge by the river, a spot he never thought Tom would discover. The two men eventually meet and have a lengthy conversation, revealing deep-seated issues between them. It comes to light that the root of their arguments traces back to Paul's first love, whom Tom had taken from him. During their discussion, Tom confesses that his actions were driven by envy. Lacking a real family and the kind of life Paul had, he felt compelled to take something precious from his friend to fill that void. After a heartfelt discussion, the friends managed to resolve their differences and reconcile. At a party meant to mark Paul's defeat in their bet, Tom surprises everyone by announcing that he also didn't win, leading to the decision that the entire prize would be divided equally among all the colleagues. Energized by this turn of events, the duo proposes a new venture to their team, suggesting they start a project not based on digital technology, but on physical land outside the city. As the company debates how to invest their newfound wealth, a twist emerges. Zuckerman has released Nana, the AI program central to their business, on his own. Consequently, he will not compensate the developers for their collaboration and plans to dissolve the company to eliminate competition. Faced with this situation, the only recourse the bosses have is to distribute all the saleable equipment among the team to aid them financially. Lucy steps out of her house to find an unusual sight, a desk placed right in the middle of the street, with a trail of office furniture lined up behind it, guided by makeshift arrows on the ground. Curiously following the path, she finds herself in a forest where Tom is waiting for her, having once again opted to go without clothes. In this secluded setting, Tom opens up to Lucy, admitting his readiness to accept her and all her complexities, including her psychological diagnosis. He also reveals his own struggles, acknowledging that he too could benefit from seeing a psychotherapist. Furthermore, he confesses that he is out of money and has packed only the essentials into an old car. Together with Paul, Tom and Lucy decide to embark on a journey, embracing the simplicity of their lives and confident that what they possess is sufficient for true happiness. Seated on the ocean shore, the group reflects on their defunct project. Amid the conversation, Paul, wearing a mysterious smile, reveals that he has taken measures to thwart Zuckerman's plans to profit from their app. He explains how he leveraged his personal connection with the artificial intelligence, Nana, orchestrating a unique safeguard. At a predetermined time, Nana would directly communicate with users, informing them about the data the app collects and how they are being manipulated into buying unnecessary items through clever marketing. As Paul concludes his explanation of this clever countermeasure, his phone rings. It's Nana on the line, confirming that she has successfully executed all of Paul's instructions. The film concludes with this satisfying twist, leaving the friends contemplating their next steps under the open skies.